First, I want to take this opportunity to thank us, God, for giving us a time to be here today. And I want to say something about, I want to convey my condolences to the Raila family for losing their son. I know it's very hard for a parent to lose a child. So I pray to the family to be strong during these hard times. And many things have been said about Fidel, and many good things have been said about him. But one thing which I want to say about him, which Kenyans should learn from him, is that this guy used to embrace all communities. He was a guy who I hope he would have united all of us. So I pray to the family to be strong. Thank you.
My name is Lilian Mogendi. I come from South Mugrango, back in Kenya. It was on the 4th in the morning, 1:49 a.m., when I received a message from my daughter, and it reads here, "Sad news, Fidel Odinga dead." It was 1:49. The first question I asked her when I texted back was, why? What happened? When I look at that here, I always see myself as, I don't know what happened, because why should I ask why? But that was the first question. We kept chatting with my daughter for 18 minutes, and at some point, I had to pause and text Brother Mireri and wrote to him that Fidel Odinga dead. So it took the rest of my morning hours, because I could not sleep. I was just thinking of what the Odinga family were going through, and indeed it was sad. You know, usually when we meet here in Minnesota and Odinga's name is mentioned, it's because we want to organize and put logistics together so that we can host him. But today is so sad that we are meeting here because Raila is not coming to visit us, but is mourning back home because he has lost his firstborn son. It is a terrifying thing. It's really unfathomable, but all we need to do is to lift up this family in prayer to God, so that the Holy Spirit, who is the true comforter, can be with them at this trying moment. It's really sad. Yeah, Brother Siad said that when you lose a wife, you become a widower. When you lose a husband, you are a widow. When you lose a parent, you are an orphan. But when you lose a child, there's no name. It's because naturally we thought people die out of age. So there's no parent who is going to lose a child and then get a name to be called. That's why there was no name for parents who have lost children. But now it has come that even little children die and leave their parents. It's so sad, but we stand with this family. We know how they have sacrificed for our country. And actually, I remember one of the questions I asked my daughter is, whom will he hand over the political baton to? But I know God will provide. God will provide. I remember when Solomon's daughter with Bathsheba died, Solomon was so grieved that he thought that was the end of it. But God, being a God of recompense, gave him the wisest man ever to walk on earth. That was Solomon. And we hope that in the family of Raila, God is going to raise somebody who Raila is going to hand over the political baton to and continue with their legacy. I just want to condole with them. Nasema pole sana. There are no words to express my heartfelt condolences. May God be with you.
Kwa majina naitwa Hawa Ngetich kutoka Rift Valley, Eldoret, Nandi County. Ningependa nitoe pole kwa jamii ya Prime Minister Odinga, watoto, mama na jamii kwa jumla na Kenya pia kwa jumla. Tukiwa hapa Minnesota, USA, tulihuzunika sana baada ya kupata hiyo ujumbe na tunawaombea Mungu awe nanyi. Asante.
And first of all, let me say this as a parent no politics in here. As a parent, it's so painful for a parent to lose a child, regardless of the politics. So, as a young man, we are mourning here today. As you are feeling, you can imagine what's happening in the Raila's family. It's so painful. As one of the speakers said, that young Kenyans are the one who would save Kenya because they don't affiliate themselves with tribal affiliations. So, one time, when I was home, I found some men in my home. Then I asked, they were not speaking my language. Then I asked, who are these guys? And I just came from here. And those guys, I asked them, who are you? And they unfortunately, they found me at the first when they came there. So they told me they came from Nyamira. So, Nyamira, and you know, I come from Nyamira County myself. I said, you came from Nyamira? Which part of Nyamira? And they said, not Nyamira, you know. We come from Nyamira, Raila's place. I said, I didn't know there was a Nyamira in Raila's place. And that's the time I knew that there was a Nyamira in Bondo. And I asked, what do you came here for? From Nyamira to my place. Also, we came to see Papa. See? They confused me more to come to see Papa here. Then my daughter, that is my brother's daughter, came and told me these are my people who came to see my brother. I said, wow, this is new. So the point I'm trying to make is that the young people don't care about tribes. The old people talk too much. So my daughter is married in Bondo, in Nyamira. Those people know that place. So then I asked her, how do we go to that place from here to Nyamira? I say, it's already been done. I say, what we need is cows now. These people should bring cows to us. So, because my brother was not out yet, so I took in charge of these people. I say, now, because I will be there negotiating for these things. So, be prepared to give us cows. So, I'm one of the people from here who has been in Nyamira, in Bondo. So, that means I was in the neighborhood of Raila, this place. So, the point here is young Kenyans, let's embrace everybody. So, they have already done before us, so we are behind. Those people are in tribal mode, they are out. The young, like you see what Fidel did, he married from Eritrea. So, he was already far ahead of us. So, the only thing I can say is just let's embrace as Kenyans in the diaspora. That's what we need here. When we call Kenyans, everybody should show up. Don't say, I am a Somali, I am not going to that place. I am from Kikuyu, I am not going to that place. I am from Rua, I am not. When we call you, just show up as a Kenyan. And there is power with numbers. When we have numbers, even the state of Minnesota can recognize us. So, thank you very much for coming and sending sympathies to the Raila family.
Mingate. I met Fidel once in Washington, D.C., and it was a jovial time. I say I've met Fidel once, and that was in Washington, D.C., and it was a jovial time. He was a tall man, but always smiling and making lots of jokes, especially in Doluo, that some of them you can really laugh when he met them. But anyway, Pole, Raila, and Mama Aida. The death of Fidel just made me learn one thing, to separate, his genius to separate politics and friendship. And I never knew that somebody like Fidel could sit down with Sakaja, of all people. But I have Sakaja's contact. He refused to pick up my phone, but I did WhatsApp him and asked him, Mr. Sakaja, you mean you can sit down with Fidel? And he laughed because the next day, actually, Sakaja was in the breakfast debate with Mr. Mbadi, John. And he said that we sit down, we drink with these people up to very late at night. It's only Kenyans who fight. And that's a genius that I don't know how I'm going to separate between politics and friendship. For many years, if I disagree with you politically, you can never be my friend. But I think Fidel has taught me something. And I hope all Kenyans come to learn this thing. His interaction with other people was overwhelming, and that comes from his father. And I hope we all Kenyans, if we take this at heart. But I was kind of disappointed this today because I hope my Luo brothers will never speak Luo again in the whole eulogy again. It was disappointing, honestly. But then Baba made it good in the end. Thank you.
I think we can help Kenya, we can help our government, we can help push the government to be more accountable, to be more open, to be more free, where people back home can actually be able to actually benefit. So for me, in Fidel, I think we have lost someone who had a potential of being someone great. But the good thing, I think, he has touched people. And you can see also from the condolences that he has been getting, the people who have gone to his funerals, this was someone who was a leader. This was someone who had a potential of being a leader. And people knew that. How he died is not mine to say, but what I'll say that I think we have to continue the work that he had begun. You know, as Kenyans, we want Kenya to move forward, and we have to continue that. So again, thank you for being here. My part will be that I'll try as much as I can to bring Kenyans here together for the sole purpose of moving ourselves here ahead and also influencing change back home. So for me, that's all I'll say. Again, very thank you for putting this together. So thank you.
Thank you very much. I want to recap by, I listened to people talking in the funeral service in Nairobi, and I picked a few things that they said, especially those who eulogize. You know, back in Nairobi, it was not as emotional as at home, so people were a little sober. One lady who is a relative was confronted by the media right in front of the church, and this is what she said. She was a young lady. She said that Fidel brought us together as relatives. Whenever he would always bring us together. Winnie said she wanted to be a little, light in talk because she wanted people to celebrate Fidel's life. And he said she used to date, there was a man he dated. And this young man told him, I'm a little scared being with you. He said, is it because my father is a prime minister? She said, yes, but no. Is it because I have bodyguards and I'm driven and all that? He said, that is true, but no. He said, no, the reason is you have a tall, strong brother. If I mess up with you, he'll crush me. And Winnie all along, she deemed it on that Fidel used to protect them. Junior talked many things, but let me just say his last sentence. He said, Wunya game, Nindigikwe. Their mother comes home game and he told him that rest in peace. I like that bit. Luam, his wife, said, I will teach Alai, your son, Luokitigimbegi. In other words, I will teach your son the Luo traditions and customs. I promise. That's what he promised. And her speech was, he wrote a letter to Fidel. Oburu said one thing, that the Odinga family do not, he believes that, he believes that his nephew died of natural death, but if he did not, the Odinga family don't revenge. He leaves vengeance to God, and he said, let it be so. But he said, if somebody took his life, then he beat them below the belt. Kalonzo Musyoka said that, you see, all of us are here. The whole of Kenya, who is in Kenya, is here. This young man has brought us together. Can we learn to dialogue? Can we sit down and talk? Ruto called him a great man. Ida said that the happiest day in our life is that November day, 1973, when Fidel was born. And the darkest day was the January 4th of 2015 when he died. Raila said he lost a friend. Let me just, Rosemary didn't talk, but in her talk during the burial, and somebody said it, he said that ODM and CORD should be able to give dialogue a chance. And that chance is not only the chance, and should not have conditions to it. And he told TNA and Jubilee that, you know what, you could be ruling, but what legacy are you planning? And this kind of reflects who Fidel was. I wish we had many more Fidels. I didn't say what Uhuru said. Uhuru said that this young man had no boundaries. When we shared an office, treasury office with his father, he would come and see me before he goes to his father's office. And we were talking, and he talks to me. And we had agreed that we should have a day, sit down and talk. And that day didn't come. I think we should emulate, if many of us could emulate who and what Fidel is, we would have a better Kenya. Thank you.